All right, so this morning I woke up with news that Trump has won the election, so America's saved, and I want to celebrate, and I want to show you how I've been able to add 16K in monthly recurring revenue to my coaching and consulting business in just about 2 weeks. I'm going to break down the whole offer structure. I'm going to break down how much clients are paying, why they're paying, how you can do the same thing, and how I even got these people added on in these recent 2 weeks. Okay, so sit back and the sauce is going to be dropped on you. But we added 16K in monthly recurring revenue. How do we do it? Very, very simple. We got 8 clients at $500 a week, which equals 16K in MRR. Okay? Now, why do people do this and why are we charging weekly? How does the whole thing work? Well, we charge weekly, and this is something, by the way, I came from a space where I only charged paid in fulls. I would charge 4, 6, 8K up front, and paid in fulls are really fun because they feel good the second you get them, but they suck every day after because you have to go and chase the next guy, right? I've never experienced this in business so far, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. But adding 16K in recurring revenue helps me sleep at night, and it helps me focus on serving the clients in my community versus signing them up and then going and chasing the next guy. So in reality, the reason that we follow this model is because it's a win-win for both the client. So it's a win for me, and it's also a win for the client. Why? Because the client doesn't have to freaking pay $6,000. For me, it's a win because I have MRR, right? And I don't start every month at zero. The client is able to say yes very easily to the offer because you're only paying $500 to get started. That's why we charge weekly. And by the way, this is exactly what I teach my clients as well. And so I have clients, Derek, he has an agency coaching offer. He's also at about 16K in recurring revenue by doing the same exact model, by charging 500 a week. I'm helping this guy Juan, who helps. He's the boy. Juan's the boy. He lives here in Miami as well, and he's helping people get into life insurance and make 8K a month. We started working together literally a week ago. He had sales calls on the calendar already. He just signed up 3 people at 500 a week, right? Which is 2K a month. So he's making 6K a month right now, and it's all recurring, which is great. That's why I love this model. So how does this actually work, and why do people pay me $500 a week? Well, the reason these 8 guys said yes to doing this, and how you can do it as well, is based off what I sell. And so what I sell is a one-to-one consulting offer. But it's not the only thing clients get. You see, the main reason they pay 500 a week is to get my time every single week. And a lot of people are against that. Like, oh, why would I, give up my time? Like, I want, to be on a beach in Bali and kick up and drink a margarita. Like, no, look, the reason one-on-one coaching works so well is because the client loves it, and you will love it if you work with the right client one-on-one. The reason people don't like it is because if you have a bad fit as a one-on-one client, you have to see their ugly face every day, it's not going to work and you're going to hate your life, right? So you don't allow bad fits to take you up on this. That's why I truly qualify on like who I allow to work with me one on one. But the reason they pay 500 a week for one-on-one consulting is because they get the best results. If you've ever been in a program, if you've ever had a mentor, you know the best experiences are when it's a one-on-one experience with the guy you actually want to work with, not thrown in with some random guy. So one-on-one is superior when it comes to teaching people anything, and I'll show you how I'm planning on scaling this and how you could kind of replicate my model. But you see, one-on-one isn't the only thing my clients get. They also get access to my community. So I have a community of guys that are high quality guys. I don't allow, super beginner people with messed up mindsets and scarcity and, you know, that type of person into my community to keep the nature and the quality of the community to a certain degree where everybody could provide value to each other, and the guys making the most money don't feel like they've outgrown the community as well. So that's something you want to be careful of. They get access to my one-on-one consulting every week. They get access to my community. What else do they get access to? They get access to my curriculum. Hope I spelled that right. Curriculum, right? They get access to my training material. Okay? What else do they get access to? They get access to my group coaching. So I have group calls with all the clients in there. So they get access to this whole bundle for 500 a week. And you see, my plan is to get to 60K a month in recurring revenue by getting 30 guys at 500 a week. And this creates natural scarcity in my offer because I only coach people and I pour into my clients my heart and freaking soul on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? I've set boundaries and I have limits on when I'm helping people and what I'm helping them with. Um, but I only take coaching calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And because of that, my time is capped out. And if I'm working with more than 30 guys, and 30 guys is pushing it, if I'm working with more than 30 guys at once, not everybody can get the service that I know they need to get. And my time is limited, right? And so this creates what we call natural urgency. When I only have 30 spots available for my one-on-one stuff, if you miss out and you're not one of these 30 guys, what's going to happen? You're going to have to join my wait list, right? And nobody wants to be on a freaking wait list. If they need help getting to the goal that they have, they're going to take action on the natural urgency and get started. Because if not, they're going to have to wait until I open up the doors again, right? This creates natural urgency, and I've limited it to 30 guys. A lot of the guys I'm working with, they're following the same model, right? Like I've told you. And so some of these guys, they only want 15 one-on-one clients. They want 15 one-on-one clients at 500 a week, which would equal 15K in MRR, or excuse me, 30K. 15 clients is 30K. So you can work with 15 guys and be making 30K monthly recurring revenue. But Christian, what happens if I want to keep scaling and I am out of one-on-one time? Like what's your plan, Christian? Very good question, right? Well, my plan is you saw my offer right here where they get access to boom, 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 and boom. But if my one-on-one consulting's packed out, what I'm going to do is sell a different tier that they can access me. And so eventually I'm going to say, hey, the one-on-one's full. Or hey, maybe you can't get started for 500 a week, but maybe for 200 a week, and I haven't even opened this up. Like I'm not like selling this, but in the future, let's say for 200 bucks a week, you can get access to just the community, the training, and the group calls in this different tiered offer. It's not a different offer. It's just not complete access to me on a one-to-one level. And some people might feel more comfortable going at their own pace and not needing my one-on-one support and just getting access to all the stuff I teach about this type of offer and creating content and building out the back end of a consulting business. And so figure out how you can structure this for yourself, right? Where you can stack recurring revenue. Why do we charge weekly? Again, it's very easy for the client to say yes to $300, $400, $500 a week versus sitting there and asking them for $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 up front when they barely even know you. It's like, no wonder sales is so hard for you, right? And when I made this switch, and this was recent, when I made this switch, people started saying yes. Like my close rate's like 90 something percent. It's ridiculous. But I know eventually my one-on-one spots are going to be taken up. And so my next plan thereafter is to launch just this as a different tiered offer where people can just join my world for a lower amount, such as 100, 150, 200 bucks a week. Okay? Now you might be asking, well, how did you get these 8 people to be paying you this amount? Well, the only thing I did was I had Instagram and YouTube, but I've had this for a year. So what was the change I made? It was this guy, shout out Carlos if you're watching this. It was my setter. I brought on a setter 2 weeks ago that's a killer. Guys worked for Grant Cardone. The dude's a man of God. He's freaking awesome. And Carlos was able to help me get people that were already in my existing audience, get them to book a call, and that's how I closed them on the easy offer of 500 bucks a week. It's that simple. I just plug someone in. So I create Instagram and YouTube content. And so just so you understand like my team structure, I'm giving you like the whole playbook here. Right here we have me. And then right here we have the other goat, the content manager, the content guy, Vaughn. This is my team structure, and this is the team structure I'm using to get to 60K a month. How? What do I focus on? The only things I do is I film content, I coach, and I take sales calls. Boom, that's literally it. Film content, coach, take sales calls. What does the setter do? He takes over my DMs. He takes over my CRM and, calls people up. What does my content guy do? Edits. He publishes. He's watching this right now, right? So he helps with the editing, the publishing process, the systems, and building out the content pipeline to make sure that we are consistent and ahead. And that's it. Like that's the whole model, right? That's the whole model. And so when I brought on the setter, I was leaving so much money out on the table by not having a setter because my whole job is to get attention, right? And then it's my setter's job to convert that attention. And for a lot of people, like I got the question the other day by one of my guys. He was like, one of my clients, he said, how do we just get more people in the door? And I said, what's your audience look like? Oh, I have like 600 subscribers. We get a couple hundred views a video. We have X amount of followers on Instagram. I'm like, okay, cool. So you're already posting on YouTube. Do you want more attention? Start posting on Instagram. He wasn't even posting on Instagram. You can do that. But what's a bigger lever to pull? Why don't we bring a setter in here? Why don't we start, blasting emails? I'm not even doing emails yet. Or this isn't the setter's job. This will be my job. These are like daily emails. To just make more offers. I'm not doing this though. But why don't we just focus on converting the people that already know us? Right? We think we just need more leads and that's always the issue. It's like, no, that's not the thing I solved. For me to go to add 16K in recurring revenue in a few weeks, it was just to convert the attention and the audience that was already there. Right? And figure out like where were they at, what were they struggling with, see if I could help them. Get them on a sales call, boom, 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 I can help you. Let's go, 500 a week, easy offer, let's get you scaling. All right, so now you understand what my team structure looks like, how I actually get clients and what the whole funnel looks like. And you also understand my offer, exactly what I'm offering here, the different tiers of access to me, and how much I'm charging, how I was able to add this. But maybe you're not fully convinced because maybe you're still charging paid in fulls, 5, 6K, 10K up front. I want to compare the two, okay? Because I've done them both now and just logically look at what you should do. If you're charging paid in full, if maybe you're charging monthly, what that whole thing looks like. I would actually call this, instead of monthly recurring revenue, I would call it weekly, okay? I would charge weekly because $500 a week is 2K a month. It's easier to give $500 on a call than it is to give 2,000. If you make your offer easy, you don't need to be an expert closer. You don't need to be nurturing people for 6 months to a year. If you make your offer easy to say yes, what happens? People get in the door, and when someone pays you, they're more and more likely to continue to pay you if the value you provide is there. And if it's not there, you need my help, right? Like you need to package up your skills. You need to figure out how to actually provide value to these people. Okay, a lot of people, they charge paid in fulls because they don't actually do a good service. They don't actually help their clients. And so they get that one-time payment and then they dip. But with a paid in full, revenue spikes up and you might have a record month, but what's not there? The inconsistency, right? The inconsistency is there. And I've been there as well, where you have a huge 30, 40K month, and the next month it's 10. Next month it's 5. Next month it's 30. And you're just continually chasing people down. And I'll tell you, like, the best way to think about this, chasing people versus right here, it's serving people. What do I mean by this? There's a place of, you have scarcity and you have abundance. And I believe that when you charge recurring and weekly, you are naturally in place of abundance versus paid in full, you're naturally in place of scarcity. What do I mean? Well, we make content to get clients, right? That's how that's how we have high profit margins. That's why we don't need like a huge sales team or all that type of stuff, or needing to like convert super ice cold leads. But the point that I'm trying to say is that when you charge paid in full, that guy that pays in full, the next day you're going and creating content to get a new client. And so you're coming from a natural place, like just psychologically, you're coming from a place where it's like, this piece of content needs to get me a client. And the thing is that people can tell when you need a client. People can tell when your bills aren't paid. People can tell when you need to get paid. But also, it's reversed. People can also tell when you're abundant and when you already have your group of guys that you're serving and you already have clients paying you and you already got your stuff going on and you don't need anybody to pay you anything anymore. But you're just coming from a place of service and helping people. And if they want to work with you, cool. And if they don't, guess what? That's cool too. Because you already have your group of guys that you serve and that you pour yourself into and that you make sure they get insane results so they never stop paying you, right? And so I think a paid in full comes from a place of scarcity. I think charging recurring comes from a place of abundance. Now, here's the issue, right? Is that if you're charging paid in full, cash flow is high up front. So high cash flow up front versus here, you make the money on LTV. You make the money on the lifetime value of the client, on them paying you 500 a week for a year. That's where you make the real money, and that's where they pay you more than they actually would have paid you with a paid in full. But the bad part about it is that if you're relying on ads, let's say, you're strictly relying on ads, you need high cash flow up front. You need to charge 6, 8K to be able to be profitable versus charging $300, $400 a week. It's harder to stay profitable. Not to say it doesn't work. I'm running ads right now at a low budget, but you need to build an audience with this, okay? And that's the beauty of it, is that you don't need to run ads. If you just build an audience, get a couple hundred views on a video, and get one guy to pay you 500 a week, right there you have 2K coming in every single month, as long as you continue to serve that guy and make him more money that he's paying you. So yes, there's pros and cons to both, but in my world and my clients, they see the same thing I see, which is when you charge weekly, it's easy to say yes to, you stack recurring revenue, you start every month at a certain baseline that covers your expenses once you've scaled up, and you're able to build an audience and stay in a place of abundance where you're focused on serving people versus just getting that next client. And look, this aligns very heavily with like my belief on the type of business I want to run, which I would say is a lifestyle business, but I feel like people have a bad taste in their mouth when you say like lifestyle. But really, it's like I'd rather make 60K a month at like an 80% margin than do like, freaking 200K a month at 30% margin. And this is something that's taking me a while to figure out, because everybody, it's kind of like bad to say like, hey, I don't want to be doing 200K a month right now. Like I have friends that would be like, dude, what? Like stop being weird. But in reality, it's like, am I really willing to sacrifice what's needed to get to that 200K? And does that 200K even bring me the take-home profit that I want to be making? And in reality, for me at least, as long as I'm doing like 30K a month in profit, like I'm chilling. My family's taken care of, I'm taken care of. I don't worry about bills or, tabs or anything when I go out. And yeah, I mean, your dream life isn't, for most, your dream life isn't 200K a month. Now, if you want to build an empire, the model you would follow is a little bit different. But if you're aligned with me and, you could literally get 15 one-on-one clients at 500 a week, make 30K in recurring revenue, and then if you want to keep scaling it, just sell this other tiered offer, this makes sense to me. This makes sense to my guys. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing what I'm doing. I practice what I preach, and this is the model I follow. So with that being said, if you want another training going like more in depth on the whole model and everything, I have a link down below that you could just opt into and get that. Or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to jump on this one-on-one offer, build out this 500K a week offer, build out a content system, install a setter into your DMs, and build out a coaching business. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to go celebrate the next 4 years of our presidency. And yeah, that's how I added 16K in MRR in just a couple of weeks. So hope you got value out of this, and I'll see you real soon in the next video. Peace out.